Okay, we're good. Welcome everybody. My name is Harro Lissenberg. I'm a Java developer for Quality. I'm going to talk here today about Aurelia. It's a JavaScript framework, and I think it's a good competitor in the current space, which is pretty crowded with a lot of different choices. Most of the time I will write JavaScript, but of course Java as a Java developer, but JavaScript of course is an important tool nowadays for all of us. This session is going to have a live demo. It's going to use Yarn. It's going to use the network. So if you've seen the previous session, you know I'm in a lot of problems, a lot of trouble here. But I hope everything will be fine. Also, I have a bit of a cough, so to make matters worse, I might be barking in a microphone now and then. Okay, let's get started. So what is Aurelia? Aurelia is a JavaScript framework. It's a modern. It's based on it's written for greenfield browsers, which means Internet Explorer 11 and up, and of course the modern Firefox, Safari, and whatever, Chrome. It's basically a collection of collaborating libraries. That means you can use parts of the framework that you like, and you can leave out the parts that you don't like. But all in all, it's pretty complete. It has everything there that you need. It does not have any dependencies. Other than the build. The build is based on gulp, npm, so there are your dependencies. But other than that, it doesn't have dependencies. It brings its own polyfills for when your browser doesn't support a specific technology. It's free to use. It's MIT license, so that's pretty permissive. And what I like best about it is that it's clean and unobtrusive. And this is what I want to show you in a small demo. So in order to get started with Aurelia, I'm going to use the command line interface, which is a pretty new tool. And I'm going to, this is not really important what I'm going to type here, but I'm going to create a new project. It gives me some options. I'm going to use a custom project. I can choose TypeScript or JavaScript. I will use JavaScript. No CSS. I certainly don't need unit testing. And I'm using IntelliJ, so WebStorm. I want to create this project. I don't want to install right now because that will do an npm install, and I will go to for that. I will use Yarn because it's a little bit quicker, and time is of essence here. So Yarn install. Also, it has nice icons that npm does not have. There are other ways to get started. There's also skeletons available on the website of Aurelia, which let you choose Webpack or GSPM or TypeScript, JavaScript, whatever you want. And the command line interface will use require.js as a module loader. So we're done. What did we just create? Okay. There it is. Right, so we have a project here. It has an Aurelia project folder which contains all the build files. It's gulp4 based, node module scripts. The source, that's where everything is happening. I will delete most of it because I don't need it. And we start with the index HTML. So like I said before, it's a require.js module loading system. So it's bundled in the vendor bundle. And once require.js is done, it will offload to the Aurelia bootstrapper, which will initialize your application. It will find the Aurelia app attribute here, and then it will know that it uses the main.js file to load its configuration. So here we're going to remove some of the stuff that we don't need as well for this small demo. I have to be careful what to remove. Okay. So this just basically configures Aurelia with the standard configuration, which is pretty much all you need. I mean, you wouldn't use plugins normally, which you configure here, but I don't need them right now. I'm going to set the root of the application to DevOps. That means that once Aurelia is started, it will find the DevOps view model, which consists of a JavaScript and an HTML file. So let's create those files. New file, devox.js. Right, and Aurelia uses modern JavaScript, so ECMAScript 2016 and higher. It uses classes, for instance. XX, right? So, and we want to tell IntelliJ that we are using modern JavaScript, so it helps me a little bit here. This constructor. So, hi, well, I'm a bit hunched behind this desk, so typing is not ideal. And we need a view, HTML template. So let's create that. And we need a template tag in there, which is basically an HTML template. And now we see some magic of Aurelia here. We can get the property that we defined in our JavaScript, the heading property, and we can simply use a string template to get the information out of it. So now I'm going to start the application, so I'm going back to the command line once more. And we're going to run in watch mode. That means that every change will get picked up and will issue a reload. Now let's see if we have a browser. Hi DevOps, there it is. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So now we have a basic application running. Of course, we can hardly see this, so let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if it runs. Yeah, it's reloaded. Fine. Okay. So now, of course, to make things interesting, we need an application. We need to do something unique, something that has never been done before to capture your attention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a to-do application. We need a to-do class because, well, that will hold our to-dos. So let's create it. To-do. It's a JavaScript 6, ECMAScript 6 class. So export class to-do. And it has a constructor. And the constructor will get an argument with the description of my to-do. And it has two properties, which is again the description. And we need a property to keep track whether or not we're done with it. So this done is false, right? So this is all we need for our to-do. We have a description and we have a boolean that says whether or not we're done with it. And we're going to use this in our DevOps class view model. So here we have a list of to-dos, empty list, and we have a holder for our new to-do that we, of course, need to be able to create. Now, let's also create a method to add to-dos to the list. Right? Add to-do. This is a normal JavaScript method. This to-dos, let's push a new to-do in there. New to-do. And we're going to create that to-do with the property new to-do, which we are going to enter later. And, well, once this is done, we can say this new to-do is going to get reset to empty. Okay, well, this is the basic JavaScript we need to create a to-do list and add to-do items to it. So now let's make sure that we can actually enter them. We need a form for that. And still, input type is text, right? And here's some of the Aurelia magic. We are going to bind to properties with the .bind method, which Aurelia uses. Now, this will imply two-way binding because we are an input element, but Aurelia also supports one-way binding or one-time binding. It will automatically infer this when you use the .bind, and in this case, it will use two-way binding because we are an input element. And we need a button to add the to-dos. We have to make sure that we have the right kind of button. It's a submit button, and, well, of course, when the button is pressed, we need an event is triggered, an unsubmit event, and we need to capture that. And we do that in a form. We say submit, so we bind to the submit element, and then it should trigger the method add to do, which we created before. Right, so let's see what happens. Now we can enter something. Oh, I know there's a bug here. The bug that I make all the time. It's modern JavaScript. It needs to import the to-do class because otherwise it cannot work. So let's do that. Okay. No, actually, I think it's working right now, but we need still a way to display our to-dos. So for that we need we create a list, unnumbered lists with list items, and here again some Aurelia magic. We use a repeater, which will repeat over the list of to-dos. So for each to-do of all to-dos, we are going to repeat this, and we say we're going to bind to the to-do, and we want to know its description. To-do description. And also we need, of course, a way to check the to-do off. So that's input type checkbox. And value.bind, you've seen this before, is the to-do.done. Okay, now let's see if we see our to-dos. Yes, it works, great. Well, I've got 3 minutes left, so we'll start a little bit quicker now. We have a to-do list, but of course we can check to-dos, but nothing will happen. Of course, when we're done, and we can clean them up. So I'm going to add a little more method. First, let me create a button while I'm here. And this button says clean up. And when this button is clicked, it will trigger an event, and that will call the method clean up, which is not created yet. So let's get back to the code. Is there a problem? Right, so clean up. And this will clean up all my methods. So I need to go to the to-do list once more. Well, I will assign them with a new value of this dot to-dos. Let's filter out all our done items. To do done. So will this work? Hopefully so. Okay. Hello, devs. No, it's not working. That's excellent. This cleanup, this to-do is to-do's filter. To-do one, I'm not done. Ah, wait. Yes, I forget this. Well, of course it goes all down the drain. This click.trigger is clean up button. It should be working. Clean up. Maybe if we do something like this. Okay, well. Sorry? All right. Well, I'm not going to finish this cleanup because my time's up. So one more thing for you. This was a component, although you might not have recognized it as a component. So in order to show you that, we are going to create a new file. We call it app.html. And right, app.html. And a new JavaScript. App.javascript. Right, so this is a class. Export class app. And this will simply say template and it will require from DevOps, and let's do this, DevOps. So basically we are building custom components here with Aurelia, which can be reused. And we have to tell our configuration that we don't want to start at DevOps, but we want to start at app. So there we have it. We have two to-do lists which are not functioning properly, but still they are independent components. So that was my talk. That is Aurelia. I will finish off with the slides. I've shown you a little bit. I've shown you how not to do a live coding demo. I've showed you custom elements, but there's much more. Aurelia is a complete framework, so it has options, it has validation, it has dependency injection, it has a powerful router for your single-page application needs. Everything is there. Whatever you need, you can find it on aurelia.io. It has pretty good documentation there, so I'll invite you to have a look. And thank you very much.